Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. EFT Road to Release episode number 6. We're looking at a Nightshade version map of Interchange. That will be the next in our line. We've done Shoreline in the previous one, that's sort of level 13, 14, whenever you get Peacekeeper level 2, he wants you to go to Shoreline, made sense. Next up you're gonna run into Ragman at level 17. And he's going to want you to go to Interchange, which basically is a big shopping mall. On the left here is an overview of the whole map. We zoom into this. This is basically where you play. This is a shopping mall. All the rest is parking and other stuff, which is sometimes the most annoying part on this map. Is trying to get in that mall without getting killed. And then you fight over there and you loot and you do, and then at the last point you need to get out. The problem with that is also extractions are a bit goofy on this map. Everything is happening in the mall, and then you have an extraction over there, Emercom, which is very often camped. And then you have another one over here, Railway, which is a whole walk that you have to do to get there. This whole bottom corner here, they can just cut that off and put this extraction over here somewhere. That would make way more sense. If you fully loaded up from the mall to the railway, for instance, that could be a 3, 4, 5 minute walk, depending a bit on how much endurance and strength you have, but still. Extractions was always a problem on this map. Other than that, that's it. Normal one, if you spawn on this side, you're gonna have to extract on Embercom. If you spawn on that side, you're gonna have to extract on the railway. Other than that, we have a co-op over here, PMC with SCAF, very often doesn't work. And then we have another one which totally makes no sense in the concept of the game, where you loot all your rig and backpack full of stuff. Here we have an extraction where you can't extract with a backpack. Makes not much sense, as I said. That's probably something they added for all those people that were rushing Killa. They run around, Killa's not in the map, they take the whole of the fence out. And then we have another one over here, a power station with a car extraction, so there you need to pay. And then there is another one underground, but that requires you to go to the second floor burger spot, swipe some card, then you will put an underground extraction into play as well. So we'll have a look on that. Not that hard to learn actually. This map, you have a bit of an outside and then you have inside. And inside depends if you play solo or in a team. If you play in a team, then it's a bit harder to learn, because then you're gonna have to learn all these shops, especially with the eye on callouts. Obviously, somebody says, "Yeah, I'm in sushi." You need to know what shop that is. But if you play solo, it's not that important. If you play solo, so what you're looking at here is on the left side you have the map. On the right side, on the right side you have there we go. The first floor of the mall, and then over here we have a map overview of the second floor of the mall. That's pretty much what it comes down to. Second floor. I think not that important actually. Quest wise or so, I'm thinking there's not much happening. First floor is more important. There are a few shops you need to know. If you up front, in front of the mall, the middle one is Ultra, the left one is Idea, the right shop is Ollie, and in the back you have Goshen. So you have the Ultra mall, you have Idea, Goshen, and on the right Ollie. Idea goes all the way to the back, basically. Ollie goes all the way to the back, and then in the back of the middle one, this is the main entrance. Up front here on the bottom, and then behind you have Goshen. There's also an underground structure. The underground is best to learn by letters, because you can find letters on the wall, on the floor. A on the wall is then you are under Idea somewhere. Then you move to B and C, which is pretty much the whole Ultra Mall, and then you go to D, which is alley. So if you spawn somewhere underground, you see a D on the wall anywhere, then you know that you're under alley somewhere. Other than that, you can recognize some buses and vans and things like that you need to mark for some quests. But underground, the best way to learn is, or at least know under which shops you are. That will help you sort of figure out where you are. There are a few spawns underground. The connection underground is not so great though. There are only 2, I think. You can sort of go from A to B, and then you can sort of go through here, and then go to back of Goshen. And if you come from the other side, you can sort of connect through a hole of the wall. It's like a hole in that wall, and that's sort of how you connect with the other side, also to the middle, let's say. So we'll have a look on it. We'll have a look and point out some things. We'll see where we spawn about that. Obviously, let me think. I don't think there's any spawn immediately in the mall. No, they're all outside, and that's usually the problem on this map. Sometimes you can be close on the underground, then you sprint to the underground and make. That's always like the first 2-3 minutes. Try to get into that mall as quickly as possible, because it's outside where you're usually screwed. That's a bit of the problem with that map. The outside, especially like the railway side of things, that's just too long of a walk to get in the mall. But on the other hand, you have some quests, and if you sort of save them up a little bit and do your preparations, because you're not going to get any quests until you have a Ragman, which is level 2 Ragman more specifically, and then you need to be level 17. So you're not going to attempt to go to that mall unless you want some food or anything like that from the Goshen store or things like that. You can scav around on the Interchange, that's all possible, but PMC wise, you don't need to be there unless you're level 17 and you have a Ragman. He's going to start sending you to there then. Later on, some other chaps come in. Skier has a few things, Peacekeeper 1 or 2 things, I think. But the main guy on the mall is Ragman. Once the story comes out in 1.0, more than likely we're going to have to look for Ragman on the mall somewhere. Off we go. So, Interchange. There are connections to customs, to streets. That makes sense. So the dotted lines in this case on the map are correct. Unlike, for instance, the previous episode where we played Shoreline. There is actually a connection from customs to Shoreline, but they didn't put it on the map yet. But there is you can't go from Shoreline to customs, but you can transit from customs to Shoreline. So there is a way, so there should be another dotted line here from customs to Shoreline, but it's not on the map yet. We do the same as in the other episodes. We put all of this nonsense off. Makes it a bit easier to explain things, although not that hard to explain here. Extraction wise and so I mean. Like for instance, Ragman, he has a lot of quests. Potentially you could find some things here. Like there are some clothing shops where you have mannequin dolls, and they could, for instance, have some cowboy heads. And then Ragman has a quest where you need to turn in cowboy heads. So in theory you can find things here, but usually by the time you get to those quests you have your cowboy heads already sitting. You find them on some scabs on other maps or whatever. So there are only a few high value shops that you need to know, I guess. And then quest wise, it's just the first quest where you have to visit 5 of the clothing stores and then go from there. So we are spawning in the back over there is the railway. That means that if we open our extractions, we will have Emercom. Exfil 01, Emercom checkpoint on the other side of the map. If you spawn on the other side, you will have railway. It's as simple as that. Those two extractions are always open. The rest is shenanigans of some sort. Car extractions where you have to pay. Over there on the tents there you have a co-op extraction where you need to extract PMC with a scav. You have an underground extraction where you need to swipe some card through a bathroom thing. So yeah. Idea, Ultra, and in the back Ollie. And on the other side Goshen. Those are like the 4 big shops, let's say. Needle in a haystack. This is what I also mentioned in the previous episode. Some quest leading to Labyrinth. You have to check the playground on Shoreline. You have to check the karting track over here. So it probably might pop up again when we go into Idea, because there's another playground we need to get there. Yeah, seeing we are on Idea, I guess we'll go in here. If you go into the underground, let's see if we can see it immediately, but normally you should see some A's on the wall all over the place. As you can see. This is section A, is under Idea. B and C is sort of middle of them all, and D is under Ollie. As soon as you know that, then you can always look on the walls to see, oh, that's where I am, and then you know where you are. Just go by the letters on the wall. Key wise, pharmacy key here. I don't have it, so I cannot open it. In theory, this can spawn meds and things like that, which means in theory you can also find a lead elixir. I think I found one lead elixir, one wipe. That's a few wipes ago. So up there is one of the spawns where Killa can spawn. That is the boss on this map. Brother of Tagilla, but Tagilla is on factory and Killa is over here. Go into Idea. One of the first quests that you have is you need to do 5 shops in one raid and extract. The next quest you get is you need to pick up some manifests, and one of them is over here in the Idea office, and that is over here. So it's on one of those desks there. You will find a manifest. Actually, do I have that quest? Let's see. I did the shop, so I might actually have that. Or is there something? Oh no, I first need to kill some scabs or something before I get this one. I don't have it yet. I did the shops in one raid because it was a pretty quiet raid. That is also something. Killer can also be in the back of there. Bunch of shelves with all kind of loot. Not that important immediately. Then you can go straight into the mall, or you can stay in the back. And if you need to go to Goshen, for instance, be aware there is a stairs coming down from the underground. It's one way of getting up. There's another one here. You can go to the back. There are a bunch of offices with computers. Then you will end up in Goshen in the back. And then on the other side, the same. Some offices you can go through, and then you will end up in Ollie. What we'll do, we'll just go have a look on these shops that you need to know. So we're gonna not go through the back. We're gonna go through this place here. Let's assume that you come in from the front. So we'll go out at the front, and then you'll see exactly where we are. We came in from the Idea side now, but Now, if you play with friends, that's another different story, because then you want to know all these shop names. If your friend is over here and then he says that is in there, I don't even know what it is. Hardly readable, but I've seen I'm usually playing solo. I don't know half of these shops, but there we go. So we came in that corner there, and we sort of went through the shopping mall, went to the front, and then over there you have Ollie on the right side. But let's assume you have the first quest from Ragman, level 17. He wants you to do 5 shops, so we'll have a look on those. You come up the front. Over there, a lot of stuff happening. The boss can also hang out there. You have the Kiba store where you need to have power on. The power needs to be put on the power station. We'll go to that at the end or so. But if you go to the right, you first have Telespot, which is some sort of internet provider thing. And then you go to the second store, which is Tobrand. This is one of the 5 clothing stores you need to have. You walk in here, the thing will pop up, and that's it. You go back. In the back corner you have Tech Light. It's high value spawns. We'll have a look on that later. Come back to the stairs, you go left. And then the second one again, I think, is Dino Clothes. There you go, Dino Clothes. So this is shop number 2 that you have to do. And you just have to walk through. And then you have T-Rent, another clothing shop. That's number 3. Just have to do this, it will pop up on the right bottom. That's all you have to do. And then you have Costin and Avocado to go. So you go back to Dino and you go left. Now here it gets a bit more trickier. Right there is Emercom medical unit. That is a key that you need. You also need it for a quest. It can also spawn Ledexes, so always a little bit fault here. People might be hiding in there as well, so yeah. It is okay lighting wise, but even with 50% brightness it's pretty dark, right? So especially inside the shops you want to put some decent flashlight on here. The bookstore over there, also something, you need to pick up a book there at some point. There's another bookstore upstairs where you need to pick up a book for that same quest. Here is Custom. So if you come from Dino next to Emercom, go into Custom. That is shop number 4 for your clothing shops. You just run through, will pop up. The book is for later. This is one of the bookstores where you need to pick it up. You can go through here, then you come into Goshen. In the back there, the Goshen shelves, well known for having food. The problem with that is that everybody knows it, and if you spawn a little bit too far, then very often the shelves are already empty. These tents here, also one of the boss spawns. He can hang out in these tents here, or in the Goshen shelves in the back there on the fire somewhere. He might also be hanging out, so if you're looking for Killa, he might be there. And we'll just run all the way to the end and straight into Avocado, which is the final clothing shop. So that is basically what we just did now, is the first quest. Tobrand, Dino Clothes, T-Rent, Costin, Avocado. Those are 5 shops that you definitely need to know where they are and how to get there. You see those boxes and trash over there? This is where you need to, for another quest, you need to plant a gazelle and some Comtech headsets as well. Also in Avocado. So this is already 2 quests that you do in this shop here. The rest of the shop, not that important. Rasmussen can have techs. So you have Rasmussen over here, you have Techno around the corner. Another way of getting, we are now at C, going towards, this is a Dick, or Adidas, but they didn't have the license, so they called it a Dick. Rasmussen can spawn some stuff behind here, on the shelves all over the place. You can find all kind of tech. Tetrises and so is an option. This is one of the tech stores. So yeah, phones. Summit 1G phone you also might be able to find here. One of the streamers items that some people have a hard time finding, including me this way. I still don't have it actually. And then you come out, you have techno, you have furniture. This is a furniture store. People just call it furniture. If you hear call out of furniture, one of your friends, this is where they will be. Techno, another tech store. You can have all kind of PSUs, GPU if you're lucky, CPU fans, also some other general techs, especially in offline by the looks of it. It doesn't spawn anything. But it's not, it's kind of normal for me. Even online I can't find jack shit on this map. And if we go up, we're back on Techlight, which I mentioned earlier. We just were there earlier on our first shop. Top Brands is over there. That's sort of where we started. We went all the way around the mall now on this floor. I don't think it's banging jack shit here in offline. Yeah, this thing should spawn all kind of tech. Doesn't spawn anything. You can find GPUs here on the shelves, like especially on this one here on the corner very often. And across Techlight you have Ultramet, which is this door. Needs a key. This one also needs power. There's usually some medical here as well, loose. And if you have the key, but then somebody need to put on the power on power station. So if the power is on, you can open this. In theory, you can find all kind of meds, which means in theory you can find LEDXs and ophthalmoscopes and all that kind of high medical tech value. The Zara, Urban Clothes around the corner, and then somewhere around here is the other bookshop as well, now that I think of it. Figaro, these are all, might also be, if you play with friends, these might be callouts that you hear. And this is, I don't even know how you pronounce that, but this is the other bookstore. Somewhere in these piles of books you need to pick up something. So we have downstairs, across from Costin, that's one bookstore, and here is the other bookstore. Downstairs Avocado. He can also be in the back here, Killa. And then you sort of have the middle over here where things are happening. Mantis, and below us the Kiba store. So we'll go down here in the middle. Jacob and Jacob, also or J and J, also something you will hear call outs very often. You see people playing together. On the corner we have Sushi Bar, which people just call Sushi. Brutal Shop, Mantis. Brutal Shop, what you need to do here, plant some Wi-Fi cameras, I think, for one of the quests. Need to put it over here, sort of to face the Kiba. Kiba also needs the power on. If you open it up, an alarm goes off, but you can go upstairs and put up the alarm on a desk. This thing, it doesn't spawn jack shit in offline on this map by the looks of it. The walls can be full of guns. The mannequin dolls can have cowboy hats and things like that. Yeah, this map does not spawn anything in offline. There's nothing on the wall. There's normally a bunch of guns. In the counters here, you will find a bunch of weapons parts, scope suppressors. But apparently not. So yeah, Avocado again, Rasmussen. You can also come immediately this way. Killa can be in a dick, and he can also be right next here, next to that truck, or over here in Brutal. He's also hanging out very often in the back here somewhere. But yeah, nowadays I think he can spawn anywhere where there's a scav around. So we're really dealing with, let's say, the middle of the mall here now. And here is the button that you can disable the alarm, so that the alarm will not go off like crazy. I'm not sure if this is Kiba or Tech Light, because there is another alarm button. Usually people just open the door and let the alarm go off. They don't bother on by putting the alarm off. Kiba store does need power though, so somebody needs to put on the power, which is not the case, as you will see. If the power is on, you will see that Exfil05 is lit up if you swipe the card, for instance. There are some other options that you can see it. And then if somebody opens Kiba, the alarm goes up throughout the whole mall. But you can put up alarm here. We have Burger Spot right here. Bit of a special one. You need the the 11SR key. Hashtag 11SR. That's the key that you need. And you need to go into the toilet. And you need to go to this thing here. And you can swipe a card through this. And if you swipe a card through this, then you put Exfil05, Safe Room Exfil, you put that on. So that is also something special on this map. German, Mantis, Brutal, Kiba. That's sort of the four shops on this corner here. So if somebody mentions that in callouts, then you know they're hanging around here somewhere. Let me see where we are here. Goshen. I was talking about the manifest earlier. So you come from from IDEA. I pointed out that you could go to the back to the offices, then you come out of the room over there. If you went through these offices, you come further down the hallway, it will be over there. And this is the Goshen store. This is in the back of the shopping mall. If you have the Goshen cash register, you can open all these cash registers. You can probably make a few 100,000 this way. But what mostly people are doing here is they go to the back. All of those shelves there, they will have all of the foods that you need for therapist quests. Little Tachonkas, things like that. Also Jaeger quests, you can find your food over there. But see, there doesn't seem to be spawning anything here in this offline raid that we are doing now. We'll check it, but I've not seen any loot anywhere. I don't think offline on the Interchange works very well. These shelves here, they are full normally with food and drinks. Also in the back, also over here. There's not spawning anything in this map. So it seems to be a little bit broken, the offline. And then here on these back shelves we have all kind of motors, things like that you can find here in theory. There is some fire here over there somewhere. Killa can also hang out here from time to time. But we'll go to the corner because that's where the power station is. If you run around the shopping mall a few times, it's actually not that hard to learn. It's just an annoying map, the fact that you have to come all the way from the corners from outside every time. That's always the problem. Not much happening outside except for power station. Which is sorta in the middle of these things. Huh? So you have on one corner you have Emercom, the other corner you have railway, and then on the third corner that is where power station is. And then on the opposite corner of this, sort of diagonally, they added a transit now. There didn't used to be anything, now there is a transit to, I think it's customs that side. You have the power utility key or something like that, that opens one of those cabins. Not much in it though. But in this place you'll find some computers in the office in the back. But you also can put on the power here. Which pretty much means that you do this. There we go. And now you will see that Xfill 05 is actually lit up, which means the power is on. If you then go to second floor burger spot and you have 11SR key, you swipe it, then you can also extract in 05. This thing over here, is it this one? Yeah, it is this one. This one is ref level 2. You can barter trade for the grumpy key. That is this thing here. What you're gonna find here is normally is ammo, suppressors, scopes, armor plates, level 5, level 6. That's what you're gonna find in those normally. I don't know how it is this wipe. This place also has some stashes, like for instance, I know there's one here somewhere. That thing still here? No. There are not that many stashes here, I think 17 or something. But they do exist though. Well, it's also not here. And if the car is here, there is car extraction. So if you brought money, then you can extract here. If the car is here, this is not a 100% spawn. I think if you do offline raids, all of the extractions are open, so the car will also be here. But in online raids, the car is not always here. You can loot toolboxes here all over the place as well. Also in these buildings, you will find toolboxes, hoses, motors, things like that, if you're lucky. Motors not likely, but pretty dark in some of these places. So yeah, this is also some map. Also underground, it can be a bit dark. There's nothing here. It's like there's duffel bags, weapon crates here normally. in this offline raid here. This is the first time we see that. We have done like 6 episodes now. In all of the other maps, there was loot on the map, even in an offline raid. I think it's the middle one, isn't it? Yeah, yeah, that one is power utility key or whatever it is. It opens that cabin. I think there's like a jacket and a few duffel bags. Let's see if this stash is here. Also not. Nope, this thing is not spawning anything. I think they've broken the interchange offline. You might think that there is no loot on this map, but there definitely is. Just not if you do an offline raid by the looks of it. Over there is one of those trucks that you need to mark at some point. You need to mark the fuel tanks. One of them is here. The other one is on the co-op extraction. Is that here, this container? There's also some container that you can swipe that you can open underground. Not many people know about that one. And then you have the W21 WS key, which is also a container, also on the other side. But we'll first do this thing here. Here is a hole in the fence, but you can't have a backpack. So I always find it very strange, these extractions with no backpack while you are playing a looter shooter game, where people are looting, they're filling up their backpacks, their rigs. And then you have these extractions where, hey, you can't have a backpack. More than likely something from the Killa farmers when they were farming Killa to get their tracksuit. You need 100 Killa kills. 100 times kill the boss on this map. Then you can get a tracksuit, but it's probably something they added for those guys. They are coming in, they're throwing flash grenades. If Killa is not there, they immediately go out in hole in the fence. They don't even bring a backpack. They're not here to loot, they're just here to kill the boss. That's probably the reason why they added that. So I could extract there if I drop my backpack, for instance. And then we are sort of opposite corners of where we spawned. And then we have in the corner there, you will find some cars there in a tent. That's where Emercom is, the Emercom extraction. Not that hard, this map, extraction wise. Not much you can miss. You either go out in that corner or you go out in the opposite corner, diagonal opposite. And then on that side we have power, and on the other side we'll have a transit. Transits on this map, also not hard to learn. You have some sort of 2-lane road, highway, whatever you want to call it. And on one side you have a transit to customs, and on the other side you can transit to streets. The streets one is not that far from the railway. It's basically where we spawned. We spawned on the karting track. Behind us was the road, and if we follow that road till the end, which was not that far from where we spawned. But you can go in here and then go all the way to the left. You can underground connections. If you go in here, you should find D somewhere on the wall, because we are actually on D. Problem here is a bit connecting. Now that I think of it, I don't think even it connects. I think it just goes to power. There is no connection here. It's the next one. Good thing we have a bit of an endurance. Yeah, this is the underground. Not much happening here. Quest-wise, also not. If you're in the avocado store, you have that ramp next to it, which goes down. If you go from the ramp, you go to the left, you will see a hole in the wall. Sort of a wall where they smashed a hole in. If you go through that hole, and then on the right side there is a door. That's the exfil. Exfil 05 save room. So for that one needs power, and you need to swipe that card in the burger spot. So that's a lot of if. There we go. That's D. So we could potentially go in here and then connect to the rest of the underground. Oh, we can have a look. I think it connects here. We can find it. Oh my god. Staircase going up, then you arrive in Goshen. There we go. We go from D to C now, and that's where the ramp is. So if we go up on this ramp, we have on the right side Avocado, on the left side Rasmussen. We have been there a few times while we were inside. That is where you end up at. Avocado, Rasmussen. So you go downstairs, go left up the ramp. Oh, our guy needs some food or something again. You know that by now. We've done woods, we've done shoreline, and now interchange. Power is on, so the generators are on also to power everything. The hole that I was talking about. Already passed it, I think. It's all connected, as you can see. That stupid thing not there anymore, or am I completely missing out? Oh, it's here. Yeah, it's before the hole, coming from the other side. So yeah, this is basically the door I was looking for. Went too far already. So this is the safe room exfil, but it requires a whole combination of things that you have to do to actually extract here. The power needs to be on, then you have to go upstairs, second floor, to swipe a card through the burger spot toilet thing, and then come down here, and then you can actually extract here. There's also good loot in there. Could be some bitcoins or whatever out there. So yeah, that sort of, you have D over there, Ollie, and then C over here. That sort of connects to this ramp. And then this thing doesn't connect to anything. Now we go to B already. That will connect to A, but then you also on B you can go somewhere here, then, which will connect. Is it this one or the next one, which actually connects? So there are two connections with all these undergrounds. Also a few dead ends though. So you can get lost in here. So if you don't know your route out, be a bit careful. Especially if you have been fighting a bit and you have been looting up a little bit and you only have a few minutes left, be careful. Because before you know it, you're on the other side of town. This is basically where we spawned. So went all the way around now, sort of. A little bit underground, a little bit through the mall. This stage over here, also something where you have to plant some gazelles. That's also a risky always. Because yeah, you can wear one gazelle on your armor, but then the other one you need to put in your backpack. If you get shot before you get here to plant it, you need to plant it. Another one of those 15-20 seconds that you need to hold the button and then plant the other one. So it's not that great. You need to make sure you have enough, what is it, coffee and gold chains or something to barter trade for the gazelles. Another one of those trucks we have to mark. I think it's over here. I always get mistaken here. No, it's further, it's further. That's further down there. That's where the co-op extraction is, behind those containers over there. But this is all business angles on you. Angles from the Ultra Mall as well. At some point it was annoying. So then they removed Interchange from the quest from Shooterboard in Heaven. But they changed their mind again. So now it's back on the tables. So you need at some point Shooterborn in Heaven had some distance requirements. At some point it was 100, then they increased it to 125, then people complained, then they put it back on 100, something like that. And now they changed it that you need some more kills. It's no longer 3, you need 5 now, but now you don't have any distance requirements anymore. And whenever they did change that back to no distance, they put Interchange back on the map. So now you need Shooterborn in Heaven kills on every map except for Labs and Factory, I think. But at some point when it was like 125 meters, yeah, people were complaining it was hard to get it on this map because everybody's inside the mall. Then they removed the Interchange from it. And this over here is if the power is on and you have the W21 21WS, that's how I should pronounce it. If you have that key card, you can swipe it here. There are some weapons and weapon crates in there. Some wipes. It's also hit and miss though. I don't have the card. I think if you have this card, you can actually craft the W11 the 11 SR key in your I think it's Intel Center. You can craft that if you have this card. Like if this card, you can use it a few times. If it's no good, then you can use let's say you have 1 use left, just use it to craft the WSR, which will give you the swipe card for the underground. There's also one of those yellow vans there at some point. You need to mark those as well. Doesn't seem to be that we have enough time to extract, so we're gonna have to use one of the transits. If I can get out of this place. Nope, don't have enough. I don't have strength. Forget about it. We have level 32 endurance, but the arena bug thing, it was either fixed or it didn't work. It didn't work for the strength, at least for me. So we have like level 6 or 7 strength and level 32 endurance now. So we can sprint, but hey, can't jump over things because we have no strength at all. We jump a few times, we have no more stamina. So hopefully they fix that very quickly. Well, they will not be able to fix it, but hopefully we get what we asked for, or what a lot of people asked for. He's not gonna wipe again, Nikita, he has confirmed that. But he will make changes to this wipe, so I expect any of the next days an update where we'll give maximum skills to everybody. Which solves the problem. Doesn't want to do it. I am not moving, hey? Stupid game. Doesn't work. Probably because we're in an offline raid, you can actually not transit, because you have to connect to an online server, which doesn't work. Anyway, this is transit to customs. But the interaction doesn't want to work, apparently. Click it, it doesn't work. Normally you will transit here to the other map now. If you go all the way to the end of the road, you will have the transit to street. So that's on the other side of the, yeah, what do you want to call this, highway. And that's about it for Interchange. There's not that much to know. There are a few shops you need to know. And other than that, you run around a few times in that mall, you get a hang of it pretty quickly. Which actually makes sense that the transit doesn't work, because we did an offline raid, we are not connected. It's going to connect you to the next map, but that's obviously on online servers. But we're playing this without any AI, so that we can go around and point out everything. If AI would be bothering us, other players, the boss, then you never get around the whole map. So yeah, if you do any of these guides or so, always make sure you're on offline rate. Although we drink an 8 and all that stuff, also don't lose anything. You do not get any XP. Although if you say next, it will actually fill up the bar, but you will. It's not. It's fake XP. Yeah. We are still the same 907 228 where we started before even we did episode 1. Because we're recording them one by one and haven't played any online in between. So that's also why we still have the same money as in the first episode, probably. We haven't done any online raids at the moment. We're gonna leave it at this. What are we? 3:30. Yep. Not much more to say about the shopping mall. A few quests you need to do. You need to pick up some manifests. You need to do those shops. You need to pick up some manifests. Then you go to Ollie Logistics, which is the offices in the Ollie place. And then the rest is like turn in all kind of stuff for Ragman, which is connected to that map. You need to turn in 2 black rocks. You need to turn in 2 cowboy heads to your chunkas. You need to do some stuff with the gazelle. Then he wants you to go to woods and place all of these masks and things like that, and the round glasses and the ray bench, all on the pier on the sawmill. And then he wants you to do some more stuff. Planting a couple of contacts, planting a couple of gazelle armors on the interchange on the stage, in the avocado shop. And then some other stuff. Turning in, it's a lot of turning in with the Ragman, so you can get a lot of done from Ragman. If you can do the shops, you can do the manifest, you do all the logistics. And then the rest is killing some scabs and turning in some things and doing some survives on that map. Stuff like that, not more specifically. Till a certain moment you have the 2 bookstores, you need to go pick up some books. That's another one that you need to do. And that's about it, I think, now that I think of it. Then there are, for some other traders, you have Emercom. So that's a key that you definitely need, because you need to pick up something in there. The other keys you don't need. And then at some point, one of the quests will give you, the Kiba store has 2 doors. It has an outside door and an inside door. You will get one of the keys from a quest. The other one you're gonna have to find or barter trade for. Because there is one quest, I don't know if you actually have to be in the Kiba store, but you need to kill like 20 people around that store, pretty much. That's sort of what you have more in that shopping mall. You have like kill 40 scabs, kill 20 PMCs around the Kiba store, and then you have another one, don't know how many exactly it is. You need night kills on Interchange. Is it 10, 15, something like that? Or things like shamming and so, insomnia, peacekeeping mission, all those kind of things. You also have to run around with your Shanka and kill 40 scabs. Also with a respirator, I think you need one. So yeah, it's a lot of killing scabs and PMCs on that map, but not so much go to this store or go to that store. So you don't need to know any of these stores, except for those 5, which you have to do in the beginning, and then you might want to know Rasmussen, Techno, and Techlight, because those are chances on finding high-tech loot, streamers items like Summit 1G phone. GPUs can spawn there and things like that. So a couple of those tech stores is important. The rest of the store, not so important, except for callouts with your friends. Things like Jacob and Jacobs and Urban Clothes and Sushi and all that stuff you don't need to know except for callouts, but not for quests or anything related to that. If you play with friends, yeah, then you might want to do a few more runs and learn the names of those stores. if there are big fights going on there, which sometimes can happen if there are like 2-3 teams coming together in the middle of that mall. Then the callouts might be important in that fight if you're in a fight with your friends. So that is that for episode number 6. We're gonna leave it at this, and we'll see you guys in the next one, where we will probably go to reserve, I think. That's for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys right there in the next one. Bye bye.